In the patch on Deadlock on October 24th, Valve added 6 new heroes to Deadlock. You heard me right, 6 new heroes that can all be tested and used in the new game mode and in the sandbox mode. Now, some of these characters you might have seen in my earlier videos where I talked about some of them, but they've recently gotten a ton of changes and reworking, so they're a little more polished than what they once were. But starting with our first character, we have Calico. Calico is kind of like a support style mage who might be the answer to people in your backline and the rats that you've been seeing so far. She can be kind of played like an assassin, but not really. It seems her most, abilities are designed around shutting down enemy tanks, providing a ton of information about the enemy team and just being overall pretty cool. Like I previously stated, her primary fire shoots a horizontal burst and her secondary fire shoots a vertical burst. Calico's first ability launches a cat forward, which will pick up any enemy targets on the way and drag them along with it. Activating the ability again will detonate the cat and knock the enemies up into the air. Enemy and nearby enemies will be knocked up as well. Calico's second ability has a pretty short range, but it lets her leap to any nearby targets, such as a trooper or hero, and slice them up with 2 individual attacks at the same amount of damage as one light melee attack. The enemy hit by the attack or any nearby enemies will receive a movement slow for a short duration. Calico can use her pounce again on another target a second time for the next few seconds after the first use, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of like a reset. You leap 2 characters. Calico's third ability is the Reeled Anti-Flacker tool. Using the ability lets you place a kitty statue that tracks enemies within the area for a few minutes. It will also continually deal damage to any target if they are close enough to the statue, so it's kind of like a tower defense game. But instead of being a normal tower, it's a cat. Now, something that's interesting is that if Calico, meaning if they take damage before entering the statue range, they won't take any damage from the statue. And on the flip side, if the enemies leave the range or get out of the line of sight, or if the statues are destroyed, the damage from the cannons will cause reduced healing on the enemy targets, while also healing Calico up at the same time, which is pretty cool. Calico's ultimate ability makes her invis for a short amount of time. There's also a detection range so you'll know if you'll be seen or not. And any damage you do inside of your ultimate gives you a slight amplification to it, and the time of this video, this is 20%, and striking any enemies with any melee damage will apply a strong bullet resist reduction for the next few seconds. The effect also stacks, meaning you can hit the enemy several times with the melee to apply even more bullet resist. Heavy attacks apply significantly more than the light ones in a tier 3, hitting any enemy with a heavy melee with your ultimate active will also silence them. But that was it for Calico. I'm really looking forward to how she'll be being played and how we will see her utilized a lot more. Next up we have Slork, but he's now known as Fathom. Fathom kind of seems like a Shiv on crack and can be pretty annoying to play against. Just like Shiv and Abrams, his primary weapon is a shotgun, as you can see, that does significant damage. Now hit the right click or the secondary fire is at ADS and you shoot the shotgun a lot faster than not zoomed in, which can be pretty cool and pretty useful. His first ability is called Scalding Spray. You spray scalding water in a cone ahead of you. You build up bonus weapon damage as the spray deals damage to any enemy hero. As you can see, it's like I suck and I'm dealing more damage, which is pretty unique and pretty interesting. Of course, these are not the final numbers, so everything is subject to change. His secondary ability is Breach, launched for damaging all enemies near where you land and knocking them into the air. So pretty cool for escaping and just causing chaos. His third ability, just like Shiv, is Bloodletting. So if you take damage, Mr. Hit Me, you can see I have 2 different health bars, and take more damage to it, and does damage over time instead of instant damage, which is super annoying to play against. His fourth ability and ultimate ability, you throw a harpoon that latches to a surface and pulls you in. While hanging attached to the harpoon surfaces, you are invisible and invulnerable. Enemies that look directly at Fathom reveal the invisibility. Passive, while out of combat and hidden on the minimap, heal a portion of your max health every second. So I throw a harpoon and I slowly go to it. As I stay on the wall, I'm invis, as you can see, and I'm just kind of chilling like a spider. I can't attack or do anything, but the second I use ability, I'm instantly out of invis, and I'm back down. So it seems like this character can be pretty good for assassinating, as well as since we have bloodletting, he can take a lot of damage and not be too punished for it. I kind of see a Shiv gameplay, but a little bit different as well. It looks like you're mainly going to be jumping on people and then sucking them off. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Now next up, probably my most favorite character, and probably the character that I'm going to be playing, Holliday. Holliday does the most amount of damage per bullet, even on base damage. Hopefully this is changed. As you can see, the headshot with no items is 162. And her passive, she does more headshot damage, so 100 and 161. So it kind of stacks. Her first ability is Powder Keg. It reminds me of Gangplank from League of Legends, where you throw out a barrel and you can shoot it and it'll blow up, or it will blow off over time, which is really cool. As again, I loved Gangplank from League of Legends. I thought he was pretty skillful, especially with the barrel combinations. But her first ability, like I said, place a barrel that explodes when shot or landing after launch via melee attack or bounce pad. So you can shoot it, you can roll it, and it'll hit people and knock them up into the air. She then has a bounce pad where you drop a bounce pad in the world that sends you and other heroes flying. You will stomp down on landing, dealing damage to any nearby enemies. These both scale on spirit power, and you can see the modifiers or the multipliers. Of course, this is not final, so we won't know exactly how much it is. And as you can see, I landed next to him, but it didn't really do anything. So you kind of have to land on top of him, it looks like. So again, yeah, you have to land like directly on top of him, which is pretty cool. So this is her passive. Headshots deal bonus weapon damage and amplifies a fading slow. That's where you get the 2 damage numbers from. So you're actually doing, was it 262 on base, which is insane. This character seems like it's mainly going to be focused on headshot damage. So you would probably buy like crippling, headshot booster and like crippling, I feel like, and just do a ton of headshot damage. Let's actually test that. I'm actually very curious. Okay, this character might be a little too strong. I don't know. That's a lot of damage. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Again, Spirit Lasso, grab an enemy with your lasso and drag them along behind you. The enemy is stunned and Astro is slowed slightly during the lasso. Lasso duration is paused for 2 seconds during the first usage of a bounce pad. So the lasso, like I said, you grab people and you kind of kidnap them, move them around. Can you kidnap teammates? No, you cannot. You can only get enemy players. But you can throw a bounce pad and take them with you. You can shoot, you can do everything. But you can't shoot the person you're lassoing. It seems like you're kind of like, you would go into a team fight and you kidnap the person doing the most damage, like a Great Talent of Vindicta, something like that. So overall, a very cool character and pretty unique. And I definitely want to see how this character plays out. Next up, we have Magician. His weapon is similar to Seven's. It's a burst weapon that shoots slow projectiles. With 20 in the base mag, this character seems very interesting. So first we have Vexing Bullet, Fiery Bullet of magic that deals spirit damage and applies a fading slow. Press 1 to redirect the bullet towards your crosshairs. Interesting. So you shoot it out, then you boom, press it again. You can kind of fake people out with it, which is very interesting. It seems like a very skillful character. Like, this honestly seems like a big skill check. You have to think pretty hard to use it. We have Spectral Assistant for our second ability. Summon an assistant at the target location that they mimic your attacks, throwing cards that deal spirit damage. Press 2 to swap positions with your assistant. So I press 2, I deploy an assistant, and then I press 2 again, I can TP to it. Place it out. They're supposed to mimic our attacks, it says, no? Summon an assistant, throwing card. They mimic your attack, throwing cards that deal spirit damage. So I throw it out, so I press 1. I don't know, they're supposed to mimic attack, but I guess not. 3 is Rabbit Hex. Hex a target, transforming them into rabbit. Rabbits are smaller, move faster, but receive a damage amp. So that's pretty cool. Change the character into something for a second, they deal damage. Fourth is paradoxical swap, so it's the same thing. Swap targets with an enemy. Hopefully this is changed. It seems like a very unique character. Definitely a cool concept, but hopefully they fine-tuned for a little bit more or change it so it's just not the paradoxical swap. Next up we have Viper, who seems a little lizard friend. She or he has a high fire rate weapon, goes very fast, ramping up and dealing a ton of damage. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 stamina bars, so one of the only characters to have 4 stamina bars. As you can see, again, doing a ton of close range damage, so she's going to be building probably point blank in other items. First ability is Hook Blade, throw a blade, dealing spirit damage. The blade then hooks back, applying spirit damage again and applying a slow. So a hook comes back, it's like a boomerang, going back and forth dealing damage. Does it hit multiple targets? Yes it does. So pretty cool. 2 lethal venom, inject a target with lethal venom. After a delay, that venom triggers, dealing spirit damage. The damage is increased by the target's missing health. So I hit him, I'm dealing damage, and it does more damage. So when you pop this, you want to deal as much damage as you can into the enemy. So again, you pop it, deal as much damage as you can. As it's going to do more damage, the more damage they take, essentially. Slither, you have increased slide distance and can slide up hills and can turn faster while sliding. That's our passive ability. That's the passive, so this character is all about movement, getting up close and dealing damage. The ultimate ability, Petrify, create a hex area on the ground. After a delay, all units in the syngic words are hard. Our area are petrified. Enemies also suffer spirit damage. So slap it down, cast on target. Oh, so you're also hit by all units, even teammates? Okay, so you're gonna have to be careful of that. But yeah, pretty cool character. Again, it seems like this character is all about movement speed, getting up close. You can't do damage. This can be used as both saving teammates or trying to get the engage on enemies. Then for our last character, we have Wrecker. We've already seen her or him before. We have a single shot rifle carbine instead of the burst like she had originally. We have Wrecking Ball, create a large ball of scrap that can be thrown, damaging and stunning, and anything it hits. The ball takes time to create and you move slower while creating it. Throw it, they're stunned. Right now it's a 1 second stun. 2 consume, stuns any enemy troopers or NPCs, damage them while held. A successful kill provides a fire rate boost and restores a Bioblast charge. Bioblast is our third. So we're going to be coming to the minions. Run over, run over. Consuming. And we get a fire rate bonus. Third, shoots out a blast of consumed remains, damaging and slowing enemies. So this could be used as this poke damage. I don't know if I'll really be playing this character. It doesn't seem... Concept is cool. I don't know if it'll be doing that much damage though. Press 3 and they're hit by it. Then our fourth is launch Astral Walk. Launch a flying shadow copy of yourself that you control, teleporting your original body to wherever it lands in teleport. Explosion slows enemies and deals damage. So press 4 and you're flying around. You hit enemies, deals damage, and you get teleported. So overall, pretty cool. Now, if you're excited for the new characters, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as I'll be covering them more in depth when they're officially out. But anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.